My first ever tiny home. I used to call it the mountain. It's getting moved right now. It's so bittersweet. It literally sold within 24. There it goes. Bye. Aw. Bye bye mountain. That's what I called it. My Glamper. So I bought that when I guess I was like 22, maybe. I was like literally spending $800 a month and on my apartment, and it just was like, I'm never gonna own this. Like, it just seemed kind of silly. So I took a leap of faith, and my friend who has 50 acres in St. Marcus was like, you know what? If you want to come live out on the property, just find a tiny home, and we'll move it out here, and you can live out here. And it sounded like a very enticing prospect for me because, I was living in the city. Things were expensive, but also, like, it was loud, and there was a lot of stimulus, and it was, like, not a good place to kind of find, like, healing and focusing on natural health. And yeah, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to take a leap of faith and buy this RV because, like, tiny homes back in the day didn't really have financing. And so this guy on Facebook was like, why don't you just buy an RV? They're more affordable and easier to get financing and all that. So I think I put like $2,000 down, and I made my budget like, what would I spend on rent in a year? And it was like $12,000 basically. So I made a goal to find one that would be under that budget. And I did. And then I like renovated it and like made it all cute. So it's like glamorous camper, Glamper. But yeah, I lived in it actually for like 3 years, and it worked out nicely because I was actually traveling so much for my natural products gig, My Magic Mud. I was like going to CVS pharmacy meetings and all these trade shows and meeting with Target in Minnesota and like just literally always all over the place for that company. I mean, I was probably traveling more than I was even in Texas. Just like literally sometimes I would go from one business meeting, get on a flight to go to another business meeting or another trade show. I mean, I was gone a lot. So it actually made a lot of sense financially as well. But, long story short, it's kind of bittersweet that the RV just sold because, yeah, I guess just symbolically it means like a lot to me. It was like my first home, I guess you could say, that I owned here in Texas. And yeah, it was very satisfying to renovate it and make it my own, but I am happy that someone else gets to enjoy it. And because I was living in it for 3 years, so then we moved it to our property here that John and I got back in 2021, and we had 2 different community members who were able to live in it. And now we're making space, so we're going to grow Radical Roots Ranch. It's our 10-acre homestead here in Central Texas, expand our gardening and food production efforts, and hopefully get more chickens. I'd like to get quail because I heard they're like really easy to take care of and pretty low maintenance. And I have this dream of making pickled quail eggs. So I don't really know why, but my heart's telling me that that would be a fun project to embark upon. And then aside from that, we are actually working with a tiny home builder, so I'm really excited to announce. So now that spot's opened up, we have 3 RV road-based pads and the utilities set up with septic and stuff and like electricity and all that here at Radical Roots Ranch. But now that we're doing this off-grid solar panel compost toilet tiny home, I have this idea of actually like, what if we could get a few of those here at Radical Roots Ranch? And it could be like a showcase so folks can see what they look like on the inside, but maybe also an opportunity for us to like grow our community here, because we've always been so eager to like go over 100 acres and like, we need to go get more land so we can have more community members and do more food growing and have more events and blah, blah, blah. But like, we've always been looking so much out on what else we could be doing. We haven't been grounded in what we could literally just be doing with the land we have already, which 10 acres is actually a nice chunk of land, a nice little slice of heaven here in the Lone Star State. But I realized too, like a lot of folks don't even know what Radical Roots Ranch looks like. So anyway, since I'm grieving the loss of my Glamper, which I am happy that it sold so quickly, but also kind of sad that it's gone. It's kind of like hitting me like, okay, that chapter of my life is over. But you know what? On to new beginnings. And I want to show you what we've built so far here at Radical Roots Ranch. So let me put on my shoes. Okay. Oh yeah, Texas. Yeah. So we have a pecan orchard. They look bad right now because, you know, it's winter and all the leaves are gone. But we got 43 mature pecan trees. We have our solar system, which is 12 kilowatts, I think. We have our Starlink. Swing. That helps us with internet because when we first moved out here, we didn't have internet. So then our friend has a van bus for like art and stuff. We use our guest house as like a community center space, little fire pit area. And then these ones are hooked up to this electric meter. Unfortunately, we actually trenched from the house. That's where the solar was trenched. Swing. Over to the guest house, but the RVs for some reason we're still getting an electric bill, so I need to look into that. But you can kind of see the road base pad, so we did like 3 of these, and then our buddies can live out here. We want to build like cool pathways, trails, so we've had you know, events out here where we've gone on walks and stuff. We think we could use this for landscaping, like maybe our garden space. This is our chicken coop. We put this up because of the freeze that we had back in January. Hi, chickie. This one's my favorite. I like little floofy. There's the duck. So we'll get the eggs and they're put here. So they produce a pretty decent amount every day. Like I would say maybe 5. There's one. So that's random. Usually they lay them back here, but we also have this little spot. Chickens are actually pretty easy to care for. So this is like their little food thing. That's what it looks like. Then we just scoop them some more. Watch this. They love it when I give them this treat. There's our little buddy. Chickies, chickies. Here comes the ducky. Come here, ducky. Yeah, and I don't know if I mentioned, but we have bees, and I don't want to get too close, oh Lord. But they're actually eating this pear that I threw out here for the chickens. So I'll show you the beekeeping operation we have. But there's the duck eating. I scared him. Ooty, swing. I actually don't know if this duck is a girl or a male. Okay, so then this is where the doggies go. We kind of use this space for like, I don't know, I guess this is our barn. Oh Lord, the bees are very active actually. So I always like put the scraps out for the chickens. And oh my God, these bees are loving this Honeycrisp apple. Wow. All right, I gotta go before I get stung. So this is a little space for the dogs. Sometimes they attack the chickens. So we have our 3 Tesla power walls. So these are the off-grid capability for our solar system. What the heck? Huh. So our little wicking bed section. I'm gonna get the tower garden going again. So like the reality, in the winter, a lot of stuff just doesn't, well, okay, I shouldn't say that. Actually, in the winter, we had a pretty good amount of food growing, veggies, but the thing is, it froze, and we did these little tarps to try to cover everything, but really it's just like the butter lettuce that survived. But the bok choy before that was doing good, the herbs were doing great, kale was doing good, so this is actually what it looks like right now. So, lots of dead stuff. So we're gonna clean all this up and get some new goodies planted. But yeah, pretty much we're not harvesting anything right now. Womp womp. So yeah, we need to definitely improve our gardening skills. Look at this. I mean, everything's pretty much dead. This is another space I want to like build out to have more in the ground. We did like little tomatoes, but they're dead. Another pecan tree. See the pecans. So we actually harvested quite a bit of the pecans. Okay, now I'm going to show you the compost section and then the bees. Okay, so this is where we compost. Whenever we have dinner or we're like, I don't know, just not finishing everything that we eat, which I'm sure there's a lot of food waste in America, well, around the world, but instead of throwing it into a landfill, which is no bueno, and everyone always complains about methane gas from cows, but what about in landfills from food waste? So look at this. This is our compost. So we just throw everything in here. We also put dried up chicken poop, and kind of utilize this space, because if you've ever planted and done gardening before and you're trying to bring in soil is expensive. So it's kind of dumb to not just like make your own soil and compost. It's better for the environment, duh. But it's like basically gold when you're gardening to have rich compost, because that's going to help your garden thrive and be successful. So anyone can compost, even if you're in an apartment. There's literally no excuse. There's even a website called Soil Site where you can compost if you don't have space. You really don't have space, you can find. So look at this, beekeeping. And again, I'm gonna keep my distance because I don't feel like getting stung while I'm making this video. So this is kind of like a little trail, and it goes all the way this way. I was thinking maybe we could do some little units back here. I'm gonna walk us over there. But look, our bees. Do you see them? Pretty cool, right? So let me show you the trail. There's Lukey. Luke. So this is a creek. It flows sometimes, like when it rains for sure. But we need to come in and like clear it out a bit. So we got some forest going on. And this is a really pretty opening. I love this. We were talking about getting married on our property possibly. And this is where we could have done it. But I like this opening. And you see where Luke's going? That's the trail. Then it goes all the way this way in a big circle. So that's pretty much the gist of Radical Roots Ranch. So we are focusing right now on Radical Roots Ranch and growing our food production. As you can see, our gardens were pretty pathetic. Maybe getting more chickens. John wants to get goats, so that's an interesting idea. But yeah, all in all, I'm kind of sad that the RV is gone, but at the same time, I'm happy because it means that one door has closed and others will now open. And I'm excited to see how the Live Free Academy, Live Free Tiny Home pans out. Working on the design this week, so I'll keep you guys posted. And if all goes well, you might just be able to walk through the tiny home yourself at the Exit and Build Land Summit. So our plan is to have it there, to actually be at the event at the Bastrop Convention Center, May 17th through the 19th. exitandbuildlandsummit.com. Learn more at exitandbuildlandsummit.com. Anyway, all right, that's all I've got for now. Thanks for watching. And if I could get to the land as a dumb alcoholic 21-year-old who was like literally a total fuck off, well, not a total fuck off, but I really didn't have my shit together. So if I could do it, I know you can do it. And the reason I'm saying that is not to be mean on myself. It's just to say I was so lost and I really like didn't know what to do with my life. All I knew is that what I was doing, living in town, the traffic, the congestion, the noise, the ambulances, the fire, sirens going off all the time, all that stimulus, it wasn't good for my mental health. And I was drinking a lot to numb the pain, and I was lonely. I mean, I didn't have family here in Texas. Like I needed a change of pace. And what I'll say is getting to the land, living in community, it offered me so much more than I could have ever expected. And I've been living this lifestyle ever since. Growing food, living in community, whether it's a larger scale community or like this, a smaller scale property where it's just 10 acres and a few RVs in our guest house, kind of like our clubhouse and our normal house. I just want to say that it's been really, really rewarding and good for me. And I am passionate about this lifestyle because, one, with tiny homes and even buying the RV and starting there, I never would have been able to make it and save up and find financial independence and get on my feet in my younger years, in my early 20s, had I not made those decisions. I mean, apartments nowadays, many of them are over $1,200 a month, and in Austin you could hardly find a 2-bedroom for like $2,000 a month. I mean, it's crazy. So how are you ever going to be able to get ahead in life if you're a slave to your freaking, housing expenses? But then aside from that too, just, touching the soil, like grounding, putting your feet on the ground. Like, this is all so important, and it really does work wonders for your mental health. And I know that sounds silly, but literally just standing and connecting with the soil for like a minute, like you can feel it. It's crazy. So I invite you to join us at the Exit and Build Land Summit. I'm really excited to post more videos about what we're doing at Radical Roots Ranch. We are going to be growing our community, so if you're interested in living here, if you have skills to offer, we really need folks who can help us, as you can see, managing and maintaining the property, like mowing the grass and that kind of stuff. And I really want to build out some trails and get that going, build out our garden area, get some cool water features. I mean, really, the sky's the limit. Like, there's a lot that we could do out here. So, awesome. Okay, on to new beginnings. Thanks for watching, y'all. Hope to see you at the Exit and Build Land Summit. And if you can't come in person, we actually stream it for free. Just sign up with your email address. So like the first day and a half, you'll be able to see all the talks. We've got a great lineup. It's going to be an amazing event. It always is. Thanks, guys. Bye.